Welcome to How Excellent with me, Trell Thomas, the podcast where people who personify excellence are given a seat at the table. Set right here at my very own kitchen table, we break bread and have real conversations rooted in culture, purpose, and of course, Black excellence. Together, we journey back to what life was like around their own dinner tables, exploring family dynamics, upbringing, and the lessons that shaped them. It's where stories are shared, excellence is honored, and we uncover how they became who they are today. How excellent is that? Joining me today at the family table is a woman whose eye has shaped culture, whose work has told stories without words, and whose presence carries both power and intention. She is an Emmy award-winning costume designer and stylist, a creative force behind some of the most iconic visual moments of our time. But today, we're just talking about fashion. Today, we're talking about the woman behind the vision, the journey, the unlearning, the becoming. Family, please welcome Zerina Akers.
Thank you, Fred.
Hey, how are you?
That was so nice.
Oh, man.
Like, I want to meet that. I want to meet her.
You are for sure her. First of all, I have to give a special shout out to our food today, which is from Grits and Waffles. We have some fried green tomatoes, mac and cheese. We got a little deviled egg situation for you. But we have to bless the food because you're not going to have my mom mad at me looking at this. So will you do us the honor of blessing the food?
Okay, I would say this. I get so nervous praying out loud. I never do it. But yeah, let's hold hands.
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this beautiful meal, this beautiful space, to everyone in front and behind the cameras. Thank you for getting us here safely. Thank you for our sponsors and the hands that created this food. May it nourish our souls. May your sun shine on us. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. Nervous about what? Come on now. Come on, Deaconess.
I've been trying to practice.
No, it's amazing. I think, tradition is super important in our culture, right? And I feel like I want to talk to you about the tradition of Sunday dinner. As you know, Black Excellence Brunch is based off the tradition of Sunday dinner. And in the Black community, it's huge, right? So I want to talk to you about what was that like for you growing up? What were those family meals like?
Okay, so my family's Panamanian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm first generation American. Everyone migrated here. And my grandmother would cook every Sunday. And basically it was everyone just kind of popping over to get their plate. It was never necessarily a specific time. Everyone was just popping over, getting their plate or sitting down. Thanksgiving is really, really big for us. So generally getting together and eating, particularly my grandmother's food, is just, I think, such a sacred memory, for us. I think, coming from kind of, I wouldn't say, I guess, Latin American background, we don't really talk very much. It wasn't oh, how was your week? Or, and having this like blended family of being raised by my aunt and my grandmother and my cousins were there, and my brother. We were just kind of riding the wave, grandma, this good, this food tastes so good, but I don't know that my family was really breaking down, how your week was necessarily.
What were the, walk me through, what were the smells? What was the sounds in the background? What were the feelings?
My grandmother yelling at us, get out of the kitchen. Stay out of the kitchen. Don't comb your hair in the kitchen. That primarily, which is probably why we're all trying to learn her recipes, scramble and learn her recipes now, because she did not necessarily want help in the kitchen. She would cook everything. So it was a lot of curry chicken, oxtails, rice and peas, lima beans, that sort of thing. There's a lot of Indian influence in Panamanian food. Yeah,
I love that. I definitely can resonate with you. I was always my sisters. So I'm one of five. Mm-hmm. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother, and I was the only one that my mom would really allow to help. And it was because I was so subtle about it. I'd just come in there and be like, oh, oh, that's so good. You're such a good cook. And then I'd be like,
yeah,
cut me a little. Yeah. And then she just, I think because I would come with such a calm presence, she just like would invite me in more and more. And so I learned how to cook that way.
And you probably could throw down.
Now I can.
It makes a difference.
Yeah. There are things I would say that I can really make well. You know what I mean? And recently I just started trying to like cook more for myself. Which my next question is: is there something that do you host? Do you cook? What's
I used to be a big host. Now I'm much more protective over like the energy in my house. So every now and then, though, like maybe 2 years ago, Christmas Eve, I'll cook or. I have certain things that I cook, and they're not very good for you. I make a really great lasagna, a really good shrimp and grits, with like a bomb bacon, egg, and cheese sando. Like I'm like low key sandwich queen. I make good mac and cheese. I can cook.
Right, you thinking about it like, wait a minute.
I can make a lentil stew. I can make some curry chicken. I got that.
You named like 5 of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Legit. Shrimp and grits, I'm coming over.
Oh, you got to come over.
Oh.
Yeah.
You ain't said nothing but a word. I think aside from food, when I think about family dinners and those moments that, we were both talking about just now, I think about like there was always some sort of, at least for me, there was always some sort of lesson that happened. Like whether it was like I heard you mention like don't comb your hair in the kitchen. Like that's something that like we take those things. No pets in the kitchen.
Don't play with your hair in the kitchen.
Right. What are some like lessons that you remember from around the kitchen table or from that energy of those dinners?
I'd say what lessons? Because I think a lot of the lessons I learned were like in hindsight. Ooh. We were just kids. Like we weren't necessarily like paying. I wasn't necessarily like super present, about that. But I don't have to come back to that one, to be honest. Like I'd say, obviously like don't play with your hair in the kitchen. But I'm just trying to think about like lessons that I took from those Sundays. I think in general, something I've taken from my family is to just. And from my grandmother is like unconditional love. Like we came in so many different packages where there were drug dealers, there was, you know what I mean? There were baby daddies and teenage pregnancies and when I realized my grandmother just rock and rolled with everything and never judged anybody, always was there. They always call her like the Ghetto Gazette. Because they say she tell everybody's business. But she also is really, she's very much like the lockbox, like, because there's a lot of secrets that she does keep, and everyone goes to her with their issues and she just can take it and roll it in stride. So I'd say just the community of, coming together around food is important and how much food played as a role in bringing us together, because it's almost the only thing that brings us together. Like in general, I'd say Thanksgiving and like a death, which we haven't had, by the grace of God, we haven't had to experience the death side too much, but like we're coming together to eat that Thanksgiving meal. So that was just kind of a lesson around the importance of sharing food. I'd say there's a funny story around sharing food that I remember when I was cooking dinner. Frank came over and he's like, "Oh, would you mind if I brought another friend?" And I was like in college, or like not even in college, like fresh out of college, budget's low, but I'm like, damn, like 2 big old boys like eating off my lasagna, like this was supposed to last me for the week, and I remember my aunt's voice saying, "You're never stingy with food." I just heard his voice say, "You're never stingy with food," and I was like, "Yeah, bring them. It's cool." My friend leaves, this person stays. It's Kwesi for sure. He ended up, we're talking about what we want to be, what we want to do next. I was an assistant at the time. And I'm like, I want to go out on my own. I want to start, making my way to lead. And he's like, well, she's looking for someone. And that's how that began my journey to working with Beyoncé.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Over like this so I tell people like breaking bread with someone is such a powerful connection beyond just being filled. So this you opening your home, like cooking food and inviting people to have a seat at your table ends up being like this groundbreaking moment for your career.
It was that voice, it was that lesson. You're never stingy with food.
So we're back at the lesson. That is a lesson that you were able to pick up on your table. That's so beautiful. I want to also talk to you about, like, before we even get into like your incredible like resume, I want to talk to you about who was kind of like that inspiration. You obviously have become a style icon and like help other people become style icons. But who was that for you, like growing up?
Oh, I was a huge. You mean like in terms
like in
of
your
like,
in your family?
in my
was there
family?
somebody that you were like, ooh?
Oh, all of my aunties were fabulous. Yeah, like all of my aunties were fab. I would like love. Couldn't wait for the days that my auntie Datra gave me her hand-me-downs. You know what I mean? Like I would watch her buy her stuff, and I'm like, oh yes, I can't wait till she give me that. And a couple of months later, like I would get it, I would get my pieces. That's how I got my first Chanel bag, my first like little Louis Vuitton pouchette was like my auntie giving me her hand-me-downs.
Auntie was hooking it up.
She was hooking it up.
I love that. And so when did you know, like, okay, this is beyond me like wanting to look cute or anything like that. I want to do something with this. This is bigger.
You know what? I think it was a few different points. Like I used to make my own clothes in high school, but it was something around realizing in middle school that fashion came with power, and like how you dressed, people commanded, like people would just respect you and admire you and like all these things. I remember I had like a Parasuco denim outfit. And I wore this whole, my auntie bought me for Christmas. And she said, $500 you can spend it. I went and bought the jacket and the jeans. And everybody went crazy. You know what I mean? Or like in high school, getting like the Manolo Blahnik Timbs. People were taking pictures with the shoe. And I was like, oh, there is something around it having there's power here where you don't have to speak. Because I was also really painfully shy. So I could just be shy and be fly. I can be shy and be fly. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like it already kind of level up in that way. So I was very aware of that. And then I started making clothes. I would like deconstruct jerseys and selling clothes and deconstructing people's like t-shirts and then I did a fashion show in school. And it was from that fashion show that I went on to just do a summer program, college program in fashion design. I thought I wanted to be a fashion designer. I thought that's what you had to do. Yeah. So I went on to design to study fashion design, even though I couldn't draw. I had to make my first button-down shirt, and I was like, it's not for me. I think I got somebody else to make it for me to get through my final. And then I switched majors. Yeah, and I moved to Philly, and then moved for 2 years, moved to New York, and I studied marketing, merchandising, and just I was a little more fast track. I didn't go to a big school. I was like, what do I got to do?
But you had that hustling
to learn always.
Yeah.
I was like selling bracelets in fifth grade. Yeah. Like I was like, oh, where do I have to go to just like learn the thing and then like get to the thing? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like learn it, get to the internship, get to study abroad, and go and get the business.
That's so interesting to me. And I want to ask you, where do you feel like that came from? Like that like go-getter type mentality, like I'm going to go for it. Because that's something that's super special, and like not a lot of people have that mentality of that entrepreneurial spirit, right? Like where does that come from?
I think that's innate for me, because you got to understand, for me, as I think about it, I think I have the maybe the aggression, the strength from my mother naturally, but I wasn't raised by my mother in no way, shape, or form. So my aunt, my aunt Serena, I'm named after her. Oh. She taught me how to write a resume, how to use a fax machine, how to not wear my nails a certain color at a certain age. That my skirts had to be a certain length. So that I learned professionalism that way. I had a business card in ninth grade.
Wow.
You know, it said cutie on duty, which sounds a little bit prostitutish now.
We need to see that so we can put that on the screen. If you have
sure
it,
I can find a
please.
picture. It said
Cutie on
cutie or duty, okay? And but that, I think that because she supported me in everything, so whether I wanted to learn how to sew, my grandmother taught me how to sew, or, you know, go and, you know, take a whatever drawing class or whatever it was, she supported me in any sort of random thing that I wanted to do. So I think just, you know, starting with having that support like made a world of difference. Then I could dream. Mm-hmm. So I thought I wanted to be a choreographer at one point, even though I didn't study dance. I applied for Duke Ellington, failed miserably, but they were like, you're gonna have to write an essay on why you want to be here, because like I knew nothing about ballet, but I wanted to dance. And I ended up just being like, screw them. I found another school that had visual performing arts and went on to study television and film in high school. You know, I just wanted to do something else. I didn't want to go to the neighborhood school. Yeah. I didn't want to go what felt like the 13th grade. I didn't want to go to the college in my neighborhood. I just wanted to do something different. So there was, a lot of it came from, I pieced it all together. You know,
I'm so taken aback because, you know, I think that's also a part of the story that people don't tell, right? Like, you have to really try things to figure out what really works for you. And sometimes, you know, I was having this conversation with another friend, sometimes you have to fail at a thing.
Yeah.
And it honestly, it leads you to what you're really meant to do.
And sometimes you can see somebody else doing the thing. Like, I had to see it. Like, I remember being a freshman, seeing seniors riding around in their red, you know, two-doors, talking about they wanted to be a talk show host and they wanted to have a clothing line. I'm like, well, I want to do that, you know? And then I would find it and I would actually go and do it, you know? And then that'd be I would just interject it into my narrative, because it wasn't like, I mean, I'm the second person in my family to go to college. Like, everybody else before us, me and my cousin, finished high school. And like that, and my grandmother was like happy with that because she didn't finish the 7th grade. I think she got through the 7th grade and then had her first child at 15. So, you know, like, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I just was like trying to do something different. I knew I didn't want to stay home. I didn't want to stay in Maryland. You know, I wanted to see the world. So it was in those like micro experiences. Like in high school, we took a trip to New York. That's when I fell in love with New York City. We went to the NBC studio experience there, you know, and like it was just in that, and I just kept adding it to my cup, like adding it to my vision, like, of my life.
Yeah, I think that a mentor once told me that along our journey in life, we have like this toolbox, and we're constantly putting things in our toolbox, and then we get to a space and we're like, oh man, I can go back in that toolbox and get that thing.
Right.
We talked a little bit about like the things that you've learned and who you learned from. Like, tell me about some things you had to unlearn, because that's another part of the journey that people don't talk about, right? The unlearning.
Absolutely. Unlearning. I had to unlearn. I'm still unlearning imposter syndrome. Like, I have to, people be like, oh my God, I'm like,
me? But yes,
not even that, but yeah, you know, I'm unlearning that still. I had to unlearn the notion that I had to code switch. When I was an intern, I would just, oh my God, okay, what do you, and I thought that I had to like speak a certain way, you know, and act a certain way. And I'm like, well, why do all the editors like ask other people? It was one editor, because I was an intern at W Magazine. It was one editor, Rebecca. She would always ask me to run all her errands, because she said that I was fast, but I was frolicking for sure. But she said that I was faster than everybody. But I realized that I wasn't connecting with people the same. And I didn't know if it was because I was Black. I was the only Black girl there. But as I grew, the next, my next gig as an assistant, I remember being on set, and I was assisting Ray Oliveira. He's a stylist. And there was a nail lady there. She was so good. It was like on an Avon shoot. She was ghetto. I'll tell you, she was out, and then, you know, and boom, boom, boom. And they were just loving it. And I watch him. He's this gay Brazilian man. And he's like cussing the art director out, you know, doing his job, but like kind of pat her on the butt sometimes. And I'm just like, okay, now I can't do that. But there was a lesson that day about authenticity. Like,
Sure.
and if you just show up as you know, authentically, like yourself, that to me, like that I had to unlearn, like that I had to fake and put on airs. So then it's like people just want to people want to work with people they like, you know, people want to work with their friends, you know what I mean? So I think then I let my little Maryland accent come out, you know what I mean? I'll just let myself be, say girl, you know, and all of that. And then I felt like I was able to like connect with people in a different way that still carries me through my life today.
I love that. So now let's fast forward to this big break that happens over like breaking bread together, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I love this segue of like you finding out like authenticity was a key component. Now, how do you show up when Beyonce calls? You know, like how do you show up in that kind of moment?
Yeah, nervous. Nervous as hell. It was a random day. I didn't want to reschedule. I wanted to take the earliest appointment. My hair wasn't done, but I slicked it back into a little bush ball and tried to get cute. And it was just, and I was nervous on the other end of the table, you know, or the other end of the desk. But then as I grew, I still had to grow into myself. Then it was just like, girl, you know, I learned to relax. Mm-hmm. And I relaxed to a certain degree because I'm still a professional.
Right.
You know, but, you know, for me, it looked like not showing that I was scared or that I was nervous. I don't know if people could tell, but, you know, people always say to me like, wow, you're so even keeled, like on set, like the world could be burning. And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, there's no problem that can't be solved in 20 minutes, in my opinion.
In 20 minutes? Wow, yeah, come on now.
You know, so I'm just like, listen, we're not curing cancer here. This isn't rocket science. We get to entertain people. We get to look cute, get dressed, like stop, think about it, and hit the gas on what makes sense. And don't be afraid of like listening when people are trying to give you advice.
Right.
Sometimes I think we think that people are trying to like sabotage us and they're trying to, you know, work towards the greater good of whoever they're working for, you know?
Yeah. Let's stay there because I like that you said that. You spoke about like everybody ain't a hater. Like some people trying to really genuinely help you. Mm-hmm. What's a chapter of your journey or a part of yourself that you think that people think that they understand but they don't?
That people think that they understand but they don't. I'd say, because I had a thought around that, around like your enemies are there to serve a purpose. You know what I mean? So we have to like sometimes, especially in the workplace, learn how to utilize your enemies. Sometimes they're just there to give you a day off. Like they're, you know, they may be there. It may seem like competition, but let them take it for a day, you know, and you go sit back for a day, you know, and don't necessarily clamor. I think often in like companies, like a new head comes and like everybody thinking head's gonna roll. Go introduce yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, don't all of a sudden hate that person because they're making changes. Like I think we have to stay open in that space. But what was the question again?
What is something that people think that they understand about you, but they really don't? Or something that you wish people understood about you?
Oh, I wish I could have my assistant answer this for me. She would probably answer this way better. I'd say that, because I want to speak to the industry and about like generally how it's not as glamorous as you think. But I'd say that I'm just overall a much more spiritual person. Like I'm much less of a fashion person in my real life. Like I think there are some people that are constantly, fashion is like a sport. Like you have to constantly consume it. You have to constantly be in practice. Like, and sometimes when I turn it off, I'm like, I turn it completely off and I'm like in the ground digging holes, planting a garden. You know what I mean? Or like somewhere swimming in a river and like in booty shorts and a tank top. Like,
do you feel pressure because of like how the world like largely knows you? Do you feel pressure like when you go out, like where somebody might see you or something like that? I know even for me, thinking about like interviewing you today, I was like, oh, what should I wear? What was Zerina like, or what was
you
she?
see, I showed up in all black. I was like, I should have some weirdness. I feel, you know what's so funny? So I've been having these conversations and starting to make this content around this. Like, I am 39. I'm turning 40 in April. And there is pressure because right now, naturally, I just want to look like this. I want to wear very simple things that are good quality, you know, a nice pair of pants, a nice tank top, cute bag, cute belt, done. And I do feel the pressure, like as a stylist, I feel like I got to continue to figure out how to be more of a hype beast or I feel hyper feminine right now. And I'm usually a bit more androgynous. And I feel like I have to still kind of hold on to a little bit of that or a little bit of the over the topness that doesn't necessarily feel true to me just because it's my calling card. Like, I feel like it's my business card. People are going to look. What they first do, they go to your Instagram, they see what you got on. And it's like, the reality is like, I'm not a shopper. Like, I just don't shop. People send stuff, and I shop every now and then when I need stuff. I literally purged my entire closet this past year, and it's like, okay, I need a really nice pair of black pants. Mm-hmm. I got these pants. You know what I mean? I need this. And I'm much more specific about now what I'm bringing into my space because we really just don't need that much. Yeah. You know? So I think just around like stripping down and like, I'm not a shopper. Like, I'm much more frugal with my money. Like, I'm not buying Bottega bags and . So I feel like sometimes like, damn, I don't have no content to make. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, what? I've been wearing this stuff for like 5 years, but I just bought a new building and I got a farm that I'm managing in DR, and I want to develop, you know, apartment buildings and I have 2 houses in LA, you know, and not that it's easy. I definitely be like robbing people to pay Paul and figuring it out. But I feel like I have less cash and I've acquired more property now, which is crazy. You know, before I was like holding on to it.
You know, another incredible mentor in my life told me this, and it stuck with me. Like, you can't like receive with a balled up fist.
Boom. I was just about to say
it has to flow through you to flow to you. Yes.
When I tell you the most important lesson when it comes to money is, you know how to say scared money don't make no money.
Yeah,
but literally,
yeah.
If you're afraid of money, like, money is energy.
It is.
You know, and if you're afraid of money's gonna run away from you.
Yep.
You know, so if you're like, oh, I'm not gonna give that person that money that they asked to borrow, or I'm not gonna give that homeless man on the street or that extra tip, you know, it's an energy flow. You have to give it in order. Everything in life, you have to sacrifice something. You have to give and get rid of something. And every sacrifice has a reward, you know. So when it comes like to money, you can't be stingy. You know, it really, that was like a huge lesson. Actually, that's a very recent lesson.
Yeah.
Though I knew it, I had to put it into practice, you know, like, and sometimes you got to walk on faith. Like, I've sent a payment and gone down to 0. And I had to like, and instead of being like, I'm gonna wait, even though I know you need, and I've gone down to 0, and the next day is something.
I'm telling you.
Like, that's been my biggest lesson these last couple years is like, okay, I lost everything, you know, and privately. And like, oh, not everything. Thank God I got my roof over my head. That's why I paid my house off early. You know what I mean? Like, but I definitely lost everything at one point. And the thing is, if you can get it, you can get it again.
Yep.
So it was in that faith. I had to learn, for me, it was no negative self-talk. Because I realized I talked myself out of my blessings. I think people are often more afraid of success than they are of failure. Yeah. And I think it was a time where I was completely burnt out. And it's probably around the time Law put up that he was retired. I felt that. I would have never did that. But I definitely was like declining clients back to back, you know, just because I'm like, I'm tired of these people. I want to do something for myself, you know. But But I found my joy again. Like I started working with people. I take people like Megan Thee Stallion, Keke Palmer, that kind of brought back the joy of styling.
Well,
I'd say.
Let me ask you something on that. How do you like? What is your selection process? And I love what a blessing to be in a place though where you can say, you know what, yes, but no to that. You know, like what's your criteria? Like, how do I get styled by Zerina? Like,
right. You know what? The secret is I actually don't turn down jobs. That was my, remember like that, I think Shonda Rhimes wrote like Year of Yes. I actually don't say no to jobs. That's my secret.
Okay.
So at one point, you know, you got the millions, they flowing, but then I kind of started to turn down things. And the rule for me is a chicken feeds its belly grain by grain. Okay. So the $500 job is going to pay bills just like the $50,000 job. Sure. You know what I mean? So if I'm not doing nothing that day and somebody offered me an X amount, like I'm always going to negotiate because at the end of the day, I wasn't even doing nothing today. You know, so if I could just go put it together, like boom, I could pay this. I can pay, you know, 3 employees or 4 or 5 employees for a month in DR with that. You know, so I just had to stop seeing it like, you know, like I was above the program.
Take the ego out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of, you know, I think a lot of stylists, people, I feel like they would say like, oh, no, I'm not taking that $500 job because I'm above that. Or like, I don't want that to diminish my stardom or whatever it is. But I hear you saying like, no, like I'm not bigger than the program. I'm a part of the program, and if it works, it works.
And if it works, yeah, because if I could, and I have a showroom here. The show must go on.
Yeah, love.
Here in LA. Sometimes I can just grab something from the showroom, you know, and it might be a 10-look music video. But if all I have to do is go to the showroom and figure it out, then why not just help the person out at whatever budget they need and figure out how to grow the relationship? You know, I love that. You never know.
So that leads us to our next segment. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to take a little break from series and have a little fun. So we're going to play a game. And the game is basically about like how you would style someone their Sunday's best if they were coming to dinner. So I'm going to give you a person and you're going to tell me how you would style that person going to Sunday dinner.
Oh gosh.
Okay? All right. Cool. The first person
and everybody's going to the same dinner, right?
They're going to, I mean, it could be however
everybody goes to the same dinner.
A Sunday, okay. They're going to the same dinner. Okay. This Felicia Rashad.
Oh. Okay. Well, I didn't think you was gonna go there. I would put Felicia Rashad in a gorgeous, I would have to say, because she always wears caftans. So this time I would break it up and I would put her in a gorgeous, let's say, Christian Siriano suit. You know, maybe it's red or it's fuchsia, something unexpected. Yeah, I'd do that with like a different pop color turtleneck. So let's say if the suit is pink, maybe the turtleneck is red. Something like really regal like that. And then maybe her hair's kind of down or pinned up. But to me, she's like the matriarch at the table. You know, she has the power shoulders. Like all she gotta do is sit down. We're gonna bring you your plates and your flowers and your water and your wine. We'll bring it. Just have a seat.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I love that. All right. So let's go in a different direction. 21 Savage.
Oh, 21. Oh, that's tricky. But you know what? I might put 21 in the quarter zip. We gotta change the image a little bit.
Okay.
I might put 21 in the quarter zip because he's sitting at the table with Felicia Rashad. In my mind, you know. So you might gotta have a quarter zip. You might gotta switch it up. I think it's time.
It's time. Okay, quarter zip for 21 Savage. All right. Okay, here's another one. I love her style in general, and I'm so curious to see what you would do with her. Kerry Washington.
Oh, I love Kerry Washington. Yeah. I would love to style her. I think she's so beautiful and so iconic, and I think just like black girl magic, like she deserves like all the moments. Girl, call me. I would put For Sunday dinner, I would do something sexy with Carrie because I feel like now we're chilling, we're relaxed, we're family, you know. So I feel like it would be a time because actresses don't really get that time to like let their hair down. Everything is so like pulled up, pulled out, and she has an incredible body. I'd do something like, I want to say some sort of like, because I mean maybe maybe we're at a gala style dinner. Okay. Like, what's Sunday's best, you know, for us? Like, I do like maybe like a high waist long skirt with like a crystal bandeau. And I say high waist because then she's gonna sit down, it'll still be snatched. She'll just get a couple of abs at the top, you know.
I see the vision.
Bracelet, yeah, you see it?
Yeah, I see the vision. I like it. All right, Michael B. Jordan.
We gotta thug him out. Let's toughen it up. Toughen it up. Like he's in a we might put Michael B. Jordan in a bulletproof vest. That's some sweatpants. You know what I mean? Like we gotta change it up. Like him at 21, let's switch.
Switch.
Like switch. Let's switch. You know who I would love to invite to dinner is Chris Brown.
Ooh.
I love.
Okay, style Chris Brown.
Like
because
because Chris Brown has such amazing street style. Like I just want to pull it up to like a beautiful tuxedo. Like, don't you just want to see Chris? Everybody wants to see Chris win. Yeah. Like, I want to see him in a Broadway play. Like maybe like in a big red carpet. You know, why is he not casted in film? Like he's so talented. You know, come on, Ryan Coogler, put Chris Brown in a movie.
The call outs is great.
But I just really want to see him just in like a beautiful suit. You know what I mean? And just like buttoned up with his tattooed hands, his like tattooed neck, and it's like, I think that'd be hot.
Now I want to do somebody who I really love, who's no longer with us, but so we'll use our imaginations a little bit more. But I loved her style, and I want to see what your take on like her coming to Sunday dinner would be. Aaliyah.
Aaliyah at what age? Because how old are we now?
Give me more than a woman, Aaliyah.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy because it's so hard to not put her in what we think she would be. Right. It's almost like, to me, what is it today? What could it have been? What would it have been? In my imagination, she would still be snatched. I would put her in like the Hyder Ackerman Tom Ford collection. A look from that collection, I think, would have just on Aaliyah.
Yeah, man, Aaliyah could have worn anything. She could have walked outside of a paper bag, and it would have been the flyest thing. Yeah, love. Last one, also a style icon, but I'm curious to see your take on her, Lil' Kim.
I love Lil' Kim.
Me too.
I love Lil' Kim forever and ever and always. I love Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim today or Lil' Kim? Lil' Kim today. Let's go with Lil' Kim today. I would put Lil' Kim in. I would just want her to feel like at home. Like she just got on dark denim, high waist, a tall boot, and like a white tank top bodysuit. Ooh. Like jewelry, glasses, bag. She just showed up. We're happy she's here. You know what I mean? Like she just came. Come on, grandma. Hey, what's up?
Auntie Kim.
What are we doing? You know what I mean? The hair is beat. I would go back to that flip, that like side swoop flip.
I love that. I would
keep it simple.
I think that that you bring what I hear from you, and I think is really cool, is like that simplicity, because it speaks volumes. Like you could even, you know, what you wore here today. I'm like, you're like, oh yeah, I put on something simple, and I'm like, but it speaks volumes, and it has character of its own. I love that your take on people is like, how can I bring out like beautiful things about them in a simple way. At least that's how I'm interpreting it.
That's the thing, because it's not like you don't got to be like stuffed in a look. You don't have to be like overdressed. You know, we love Lil' Kim for who she is. Yeah. So if she showed up in a white tank top, a Dolce belt, a Chanel belt, and some pants, we're gonna gag. Like, give it to me. I'm gonna eat it up. You know, like you don't necessarily need like this kind of like full on over the top thing for me. Not for her, but then other people, they could use that pull up. Like I would love to dress. I would love to dress the brat. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to dress Queen Latifah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Queen Latifah, give me some androgyny, because we know that's what you really give. Like, you know what I mean? Give me a power suit, you know, a tight waist. Like, give me, like, even the brat. Like, I love, you know, her feeling a bit more like elevated and more like clean lines, chic, you know, suited. And still, you can still have, like, you know, the hair that she typically wears, but like having that as a juxtaposition, I think things have to be having that juxtaposition in any kind of art form, I think, is important. You know, so you would have if you have, let's say I dress Mona Leo. I'm working with Mona Leo on her tour. She's already a rapper, you know, but what people don't know about her is that she's actually just really soft and feminine and girly. And we know she loves pink, but people don't, to the extent is everything is pink. You know what I mean? Like, and there is this like hyper feminine woman. Like, she's a mother, she's a wife, and like there is just this ultra roughly pretty girly girl and that's all she wants to do is just be a girl. You know, so I try to bring out more of that softness because you're already a rapper. That's already tough enough. So everything else can just be soft and pretty, you know?
I like it. What's a style rule that you like really live by? Like something that you take into all your to all your clients, to all the situations that you apply to yourself. What is like one rule that you could share? I'd
have to say with silhouette, I like balance in silhouette. So if I'm gonna do a bigger skirt, you know, or a wide skirt, I'll do a crop top or a tighter fitting body. But then if I'll do, let's say, you know, a jacket that's a bit more oversized, maybe I'll do a mini skirt, you know, and topless. For me, it's almost like hanging pictures on a wall, which I know not everybody can do because it's tough. Yeah. But creating a gallery wall, like that same balance of space in interior design, to me applies for dressing and fashion.
That's good. Like, I'm even thinking about, okay, how would that work? That's really good.
Yeah,
really,
it's like you might do one bracelet, two, you got money because you could afford the set, you know, but sometimes it's just about having that one thing here and then maybe the ring here, but you don't necessarily need the earrings and the necklace, and, you know, so it's just a balance.
I like it.
And it kind of like one or the other.
I'm trying to think of like, I'm trying to think of like something that would apply for me or how I can apply it to my life. That's good. Well, you
wear wide leg pants.
Yeah, I love
right.
Wide leg
so
pants.
Then you might do a more cropped jacket.
Okay.
You know what I mean, with your wide leg pants versus something that's longer and hangs down over the hips.
Right.
You know, because then you might just be swallowed. So, but if you brought that silhouette up, because there's so much space taken up down here, you can afford to do something a little more shorter, a little more tailored on the top, you know, versus like a bubble jacket or something, you know, I mean, obviously, unless you're going for like oversized in a streetwear sense. But also in general, there's no rules to fashion, you know, and I subscribe to that because the same things that we say are, you know, in today, like, who even could fathom that you can't even wear straight-legged stretch jeans, skinny jeans right now? You know what I mean? But in 3 weeks, the shows will happen, and all of a sudden, it'll be all the things because you have to go and do the thing that no one's doing.
Do you think that's the same with life? Like, there are no rules?
Absolutely. There's no straight path. There's no like mark. Right now I'm struggling with like making content and I'm like, what is this? And I struggle with like overthinking it because sometimes I'm like, I just need to record the thing and post. But I like interesting edits. I like color. I like aesthetic. I'm, you know, gravitating towards the things that I like to watch. But in the end, I just end up overthinking it, you know. But I'm trying to. So I need to take that lesson in myself, you know. But there's no real sort of right or wrong answer. Like, you don't. As a stylist, I interned, I assisted for years. And then I became a stylist. I learned from everyone else's mistakes. If you take a Jason Rimbert, our careers are very similar. You know, he's probably worked with way more people. He just jumped in and called himself a stylist. And it worked.
Wow.
He didn't assist. He didn't, you know, intern or anything. So, you know, there's no real wrong answer at all.
I love that, and I think more people need to know that. You know, especially when you get in the entertainment industry, there's really no rules. Like, you
Seriously.
gotta just do.
I watch people like, you know, opportunists opportune their way to the top. Like you know what I mean? I'm like, you really just here and then you making content about being there and then but you're not really and then sure enough if people believe you. Just fake it till you make it, but don't forget to make it.
but please make it.
Don't
please
forget to
actually make it.
You know.
I have another question. Then we're gonna do like something really fun together. But what I want to talk to you about legacy because I hear you talk about the things that you're doing in DR, and I hear you talk about like how you've built up until now. Like, what is something that you are even in the midst of building now that the world hasn't seen yet, or you're excited for the world to see?
I am. I right now, I've been funding a farm project. My brother and I, my best friend and I, have been working on for years, and now we're really starting to see this like turning point. We have like over 500 acres. We're starting a cattle ranch, and then we'll have cacao and coconut and a bunch of other things too. But now that's really taken off. So I'm trying to eventually we're gonna put in a like some bungalows so people can come in and like experience the farm and like stay, and then like 25 minutes away there's a beach. So I just closed on a dilapidated structure, and I'm gonna take my time with it because I do want to get, a larger space, and then develop apartments and have a place for people to escape.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then you gonna buy one?
If the offer is on the table,
I
sure will.
And then my dream is that people and then my friends come and like buy it, and we kind of take over this beach town, you know what I mean? And
that's
like
so dope.
Have like this very like peaceful escape.
That's so dope. I'm serious. Don't play.
Oh,
yeah, right.
I won't.
Yeah, I know you won't. Now we're going to get to do something really fun. We're going to do a little toast together, and I'm going to teach you how to make a drink. All right. Before we wrap, we always like to do a toast. Okay, that's like my thing. And for this moment, I have a special cocktail collection that I want to share with you. We're going to do the margarita today, but it has 9 cocktail collections. It's super, super incredible. And I'm super excited to teach you how to make a drink. To teach you. Okay. So the first thing you do is you grab your margarita from the cocktail collection.
Ooh. Did you know margaritas are my drink of choice?
I know. I know you. We've been to enough places together. Okay.
Right.
Boom. Get the top off. And then pour it up in there for the both of us.
Okay.
Amazing. And this is probably my favorite part. I get to do a little...
It's like a quickie in a bottle.
A little 1, 2.
Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it.
And then I'm
gonna do thank you.
Do the honors and then mine. Okay.
All right.
Oh wait, not yet. Give us a little
cute.
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually. Boom.
Fab.
Okay. And we're gonna toast. I'm gonna let you do the toast. So what do you want to toast?
We are just starting the new year. I don't know when this is going to air, but cheers to love being ever flowing. Let's say your rivers being ever flowing and your cups overflowing.
Ooh, cheers.
Cheers.
Yep. That's it. Don't leave me because I want to ask you something. You were saying something while we were having a moment, and I want to know, when you speak about like cups overflowing and love overflowing, I want to know like what does it look like for you to choose yourself and allow that flow?
Ooh, okay. So I literally just chose myself. I ended a relationship that I was in, and I just really couldn't. I wanted that energy to be poured back into myself. And this year, just starting this year off, I have been like, I'm back in the gym. I just started with this amazing new trainer, Venus. I've just recently started to like meal prep, which is like, I'm struggling. This is my first week doing it.
Talk to me about it.
But like to just kind of treat my body well and like prioritize my body. So I'm kind of working out around the hours of like, I'd say like 6 to 8 or like 7 to 9. And I'm really focusing on like dedicating those hours to me. Because nobody needs anything from me before, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Like, so I'm trying to like, really like dedicate that time to like focus on my body and getting my energy up. I want to have a baby this year. I'm in a space where I realize I think I want to just do it. And I don't feel like I necessarily need to be in a relationship when I do it, because either way, like that person, whoever it is, they just got here, you know what I mean? Like, and I think it's just something that is so like sacred and personal to me, because I'm not necessarily in a relationship where it's like, oh my God, we've been together 5 years, oops, I'm pregnant, or oops, we're gonna go do IVF now. It's like, I think I just kind of want to do it alone, which is a hell of a decision.
Well, there's never a right time to do anything. And
No.
I think that, but I do think there's that all the time is a right time to choose yourself.
Yeah.
And that's really important. And thank you for sharing that with me. It's like, I always feel so honored and so blessed when people share things that are really close to the heart with me, because as you know, like, I really care about you as a person, as a friend, and it's just been such an honor and a blessing to be able to sit with you and to share with you and to toast to the excellence of us.
Cheers to
and
that.
And yeah, I just want to continue that. So thank you so much for joining me today on this amazing show that we just started. How excellent. And you are excellence, and excellence personified, and I just appreciate you, like, truly.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
I'm like, can we hug now?
Perfect. Yeah, I can't wait.